Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Discipline Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, EL Discipline. Alongside me is a returning guest, but we're going to get to her in a moment. Once again, our prayers and hearts go out to Suhei and her family. You know, like I said in the last show, she will talk to you guys or share, what's going on with her and her family when she gets here. But we're going to rock without her. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know y'all fiends. Do not admit it. Y'all know y'all fiends. That's why you're back for another dose weekly of discipline therapy where not everything is completely free. See, because we're on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see. But what is free is this judgment-free, sucker-free, censor-free, sensitive-free, and some liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite, roll a blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and vulgar conversation. Prepare your mind to be fed like one up. Inhale life and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. I'm going to say we're here. You say we're here. We're here. Cool. All right. So, how you feel?
I feel great.
Not as nervous as the first time?
No.
Okay, cool. Let's get this a little closer. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. So, today... Well, first we're going to get into some stuff before I talk about what today's topic is. Once again, shout out to Joe and Center Stage Music Studio. Show is sponsored by, let me see. Also, don't forget the online store for merch, disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. Also, EL Discipline Books, mine, are available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Google, EL Discipline, and you'll find all of my works. Excuse me. Grab yourself a book, many different genres, many different lifestyles, depending on what you're into. Also, life coaching, relationships, spiritual, fitness sessions, one-on-one, couples, male, female, all ages. I don't discriminate. Gay too, lesbian, whatever you're into. Non-binary, I don't discriminate. All races, and demographics and environments. All right. So, first and foremost, before I get into the topic, you get the luxury of actually seeing live. Most guests do. But you actually get to see it one person. Most guests see Suhei and I setting up. You get to see one person. That me breaking down like what dBs mean, frequencies, why angle the camera a certain way, and the microphones. How did that make you feel? Amazed, right?
Exclusive.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm not trying to bash anybody that does this. It's only like 1% who do what I do. So most people just show up with an idea or a laptop and just talk their talk because they have a good mouthpiece. But I'm a technology nerd, so I'm also self-taught. So if I don't know it, I'll find out how to do it. I'll put in the work. I don't think you could say, oh, because I reached this level, I got so much money, I can just pay somebody to do it. I don't got the time or I don't want to do it. I got money to pay people the videography, but it don't work for me because sometimes I may want the books to pop up and all they're doing is just editing. So I'm going to be doing the work anyway, so what's the point of paying them? It's going to come back to me for me to do it. Or I got to be there with you when you're doing it. Nope, that's cool. Dominant too. So I'm kind of like exercising, controlling everything. So it's that. And then you have like, setting up the mic. Man, I wouldn't mind somebody doing that. But one of the things that Joe takes care of us here is because we have our own equipment.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Most people don't. I got the recorder. I got the memory card. You know what something like that is?
Yes.
I got my own camera. I'm just using him for the space.
Yes.
So most people, like I said, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just showing you yes, it's exclusive and you're amazed because if you go on somebody else's stuff, you don't have to see that. because they got engineers, they got people that's setting up for them. All they doing is showing up. Yeah, so we gonna put in work today. I see you got some notes. I got some bullets, and we're gonna talk about the topic. I know now everybody's like, "What's the topic? What's the topic?" If they weren't watching my social media, if they follow me, they already know what it is. So we're gonna get into it. Season 15, episode 159. As times change, how valuable is the traditional man and traditional woman? Special guest returning special guest. I'm sorry, Shakina. All right. So first bullet is first of all, let me see. Yeah, how valuable do you think as times change? How valuable is these individuals?
Yes, I think a traditional person is very valuable. It's highly valuable because of their morals and their standards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that some characteristics that make a person highly valuable are, being self-conscious, having integrity, holding themselves accountable, divine, for sure, having decorum. Yes.
I agree. Okay. Would a traditional man have a child with a woman and not marry her?
No.
Why?
No, I think traditional men, they date with purpose, and traditional men, like, they seek qualities in a woman that are submissive qualities, such as being like a nurturer, and how is she going to be with children? Is she nurturing? Is she peaceful? Things like that, like, motherly instincts.
How do you know that?
I know that because
Like, some people could say that's subjective.
I just feel just like experience, with and witnessing traditional men. Like, I could speak for myself, like my parents. My parents are still married till this day. So yeah.
Is there a such thing as a traditional modern man?
A traditional modern man. Ooh. A traditional man can live in modern times, but I don't really think, I don't know. I think you're either like one or the other. Yeah, I feel like you lean more into one than the other one.
Surprisingly, I happen to agree with that.
Yeah.
Would a traditional woman have a child with a man and not get married to him?
No, because I think majority of women that do, what can I say? I'll say this. I think a lot of women that do have children with their significant other potentially want, see being with that person long term. Unfortunately, in some cases, it isn't that way. But I think initially going into it, women, we love companionship. A lot of women, like, we want to be in it for the long haul. So I think that's just natural. Yeah.
I don't believe a traditional man would have a child with a woman and not marry her. So, I happen to agree with what you were saying. They pursue for purpose, certain qualities that she has. If, like, he is not having a oops baby. It is true. Even if the baby's coming before marriage, it's a total package. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
he already knows in his mind he's not having a oops baby, because he's vetting right.
Yes.
So he's not looking to get with the modern hoe and, say, I'm going to make her traditional. You know what I'm saying? Or having a kid with her, because, like, the way that woman is not what he saw growing up. He's not familiar with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I believe that, he's not going to have a child with a woman that he's not going to marry. I'm going to give you an example. Episode 15, season 2, episode 15, mind sex. Yeah, I do that.
Good memory.
So I said, when I'm engaging with a woman that I want to see romantically, it's not verbatim. I already see marriage. Like, they have certain things that I see. So I'm not just getting with the hoe because I'm like, oh, let's have fun or whatever. I already see maternal instincts. I already see, oh, I could have a kid with her. So if there was a oops situation, I'm in good hands, and so is she, because I already saw that in the beginning. I said that in Mind Sex, episode 15. So it's almost as if, like, I approach my relationships like a marriage. Like, I train wives. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's going to be a wife to me or somebody else. But I train potential wives. That's kind of like what a sub is doing. You know what I'm saying? She's like what we used to call back in the day. Oh, that's wifey. And we don't say girlfriend and boyfriend. Yeah, that's wifey. Can I get a table for me and my wife? Even if we're not married. Mm-hmm. A table for me and my wife. It sounds weird. Oh, table me and my girlfriend? We don't rock like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Gen Z. Yeah. But, we look at it that way. So we kind of just already approaching it like a marriage. It's just we didn't get the government involved, and it's no paper or titles or whatnot. So the traditional man is already seeing these certain characteristics in the woman that he's choosing, because remember, he's choosing his wife. A lot of women don't get to choose their husbands. They kind of marry who they can, not who they want. It's like whatever is the scraps. These guys back in the day, but I was a certain way where I couldn't value that because I wasn't healed, or I didn't see it was good. I thought it was boring. Now I'm older. I want those. There ain't a lot left. So I kind of just settle. So most women just marry who they can. Men marry who they want, because ultimately we don't commonly see women getting on one knee. That makes a lot of women uncomfortable. So even if a woman's like, I want to marry you, she's just talking shit. Or maybe it's like good to say, but she don't really mean it like literally. It's more like figurative. What do you think?
You
trying to understand?
Yes.
So if you think about it, right, the woman could say, I want to marry you, but okay, let me put you in the situation and make it subjective. You could say, I want to marry him. Does that mean tomorrow you're going to the jeweler?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Asking him his ring size? No. Gonna get on one knee?
No.
You see? Does that make you feel uncomfortable or comfortable?
No, uncomfortable.
You see, so most women want the traditional treatment.
Right.
You see, so a man actually marries who he wants because he's the hunter. He's actually going out to get it and actually saying, will you marry me, yes or no? I'm not going to ask. I'm just be like, you're marrying me, yes or no? But he's going to maybe get on one knee, do the traditional thing, an event, whatever. Or will you marry me? The big question, write it on the Teletron or something like that, or whatever they do. A surprise. Oh, it's in the muffin. And we went to dinner. It's in, you know what I'm saying? They do different things.
Yes.
But he's the one that's the initiator. So I don't believe that he's just going to get anybody, because like you were saying, may not be verbatim, but he's vetting because he is like the animal kingdom. They know that we need to do this for our kids to continue the legacy. Yes. So he's looking at the maternal instincts, because he's not just thinking selfishly. He's thinking about his potential child, future child, or children, family. Would a traditional woman have a kid with a man and not get married to him? Same thing. Even though the woman is not initiating, if she doesn't see certain qualities, she will turn him down, even if he did propose. So because she doesn't see he could be a potentially good husband, I'm not safe there. I don't know if he could lead a family. And I definitely don't want to have kids with him. But if you did have kids with him, what made you? You see what I'm saying? What made you have kids with him? Because if she's traditional, she's gonna carry these maternal instincts, submissive, feminine. Maybe she had a kid with him because she thought of future. Maybe he sold her a dream. Maybe she thought, yeah, I got pregnant. The ring is coming eventually. And it never did. Maybe she wants to be agreeable because she is so submissive that, she's not looking at it like, well, I didn't bring a condom. Maybe he does. And then they just do it. And she doesn't believe in abortion. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many reasons of why the traditional woman had a child with a man she doesn't see a future with. It's still like different on both ends because even though she's not the initiator, there's still that choice, yes or no. Can the traditional man be polyamorous?
Yes.
Why?
Because men are not monogamous, not monogamous by nature. That's just biology. And I know a lot of women are gonna be like, "What's she talking about?" But I think that's facts.
Yeah. So polyamorous does not mean because a lot of people get triggered for this, right? Polyamorous does not mean he's a serial cheater. He's out there banging different chicks every week. It means relationship, more than one.
Right.
So it's not a one night stand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's building. And then even if it's separately, it's like, oh, this is a woman I see all the time or whatever, and she's aware of it, or maybe she's not aware of it. But I think people get that misconstrued because I think some people are polyamorous in denial.
Yeah.
Or the woman knows she's sharing the man and in denial. So do you believe that same thing with the woman who's traditional? Can she be polyamorous as well?
Ooh. There are women who are polyamorous. No, I think the traditional woman more so thinks of one man and one man, one king. That's it.
I mean, I happen to agree with that. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because of her morals, her values, how she sees things, how she believes the family structure is. I think that like most women today, I don't want to say all of them, but most women today are kind of like tit for tat.
Yes.
And if people don't know what that means, it's like revenge. So, oh, you cheated, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go on social media, I'm going to open up my DMs. I think the traditional woman is extremely loyal. Like, oh, yeah, he cheated. Yeah, she's going to be hurt and get in her feelings, but she's not going to feel to do the same thing.
Agreed.
Back in the days when the traditional woman was angry at the husband, she cleaned the whole house. She stayed productive in some fashion. She took her time away from him, but she didn't go out there and be like, oh, I'm going to do something that's going to put myself in danger and the family in potential danger. So she was strategic and logical. So that's what I believe. I don't believe she could be polyamorous because she's 100% in her feminine nature.
Yes.
And like feminine women can't, like masculine women can.
Right.
So if she's feminine, she's giving her all. So she's not gonna like go out there and seek revenge and just, like she first of all, she don't even have backup plans. So most women that could easily do that, they already have backup plans. So I don't look at the traditional woman as a woman that has backup plans with boyfriend or husband. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
how valuable is a traditional man and traditional woman based on their roles, mindset, character, and what they bring to the table in today's era? Like, how valuable is it? Is it high value? Is it it's valuable to some. Is it like, you know what I'm saying?
I think I understand what you mean. I mean, I think it's very valuable, and I think because you. Let me think.
Okay, so there's a
Yeah.
definition of traditional man and traditional woman.
Okay. Okay.
So based on their roles, their mindset, their character, and what they bring to the table,
Okay.
how valuable is it today? So I'm going to give you an example.
Oh.
If
Okay.
you believe integrity is valuable,
Okay.
is that like are they like a high valuable asset now
Okay.
because today most people don't have integrity.
That's
They'll
true.
sell their soul for fame, money, whatever. Be online, do OnlyFans. Dude will sell drugs to like little kids. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, make them OD. Who cares? As long as I'm getting the bread. Do immoral things, just to get by. Cut people in the throat, metaphorically. Step on necks to get to the top echelon in the corporate world. Even stab the teammates in the back, throw them under the bus. If he's the leader, he's not taking accountability. Nah, it was his fault. That's why we didn't make sales. Her fault. Shit, I wasn't even there.
Damn.
But you're the leader, though.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So if based off their roles, their mindset, their character, and what they bring to the table, how valuable is this traditional man and woman today? Is it like high valuable because of all these things? Is it just mediocre? Is it to some people?
To me, it's valuable. To some people, it may not be as valuable.
Okay. So do you think a modern man and or woman would see this as valuable? Like are you,
Not as much, honestly. No,
are you traditional or modern?
I'm traditional.
Traditional. So for you it's valuable.
Yes.
But a modern woman or girl, do you think the traditional man would be valuable to her?
That's so tough. I don't think it would be as high of a value to her.
Why do they want traditional treatment though?
Oh, why do they want traditional treatment?
Because you just said that the traditional man would not be valuable to the modern woman. Am I correct? Or I'm just putting words in your mouth.
No, you're correct.
Okay, but those same modern women would want to be treated traditionally.
Yeah.
Like, well, why? You see, so if they don't see them
Yeah.
valuable,
Then why would they?
why would they want to be treated traditionally?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Do you think it's because they're still diving into their nature?
That could be.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Because
good point.
this goes back to the women marry who they can,
Who they
man
can.
marry who they want. Like, is it still
Yes,
them? Like,
okay.
even though they're on some feminist shit and blah 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 blah, strong independent, they're still kind of diving into their nature. Their subconscious is getting back into their ancestry.
Yeah.
Could that be the reason? I'm not trying to answer it for you.
No, that is a great point though. Because that's innate,
Yeah.
That's like so that's a great point.
Yeah, it's like second nature. Danger is ahead. The woman sees danger. It's like second nature. Am I looking for the man for protection? It's like second nature. We get into the bedroom. Like most women are not wanting to dominate there. They don't want to dominate there. Second nature. She wants to be submissive. Like, is it the same thing? Even though she's saying that this man, or they're saying that this type of man is not valuable, why do they still want traditional treatment then? Wouldn't they just want modern treatment? Wouldn't they just care about approaching guys, getting the ring, being this, paying all the bills? I'll take care of a man. He don't have to work. Be a house husband. Like, why wouldn't they just, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I understand. I'm just not sure how to answer.
So let me say something and then maybe I'll trigger something.
Okay.
So based off the roles of this man and woman and their mindset, their character, and what they bring to the table, they are high value to everybody. High value to everybody. Because even the OnlyFans girl is going to want to be traditional eventually. She might be unaware of the term. But even she's going to want it. We don't talk to all of them. We got to interview all of them because they all want different things in the future. One might say, yeah, I'm hoeing right now, but I want to be a housewife. That's crazy, right? but that's like a traditional woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying they all have different things. So eventually she want to get traditional. She don't even know that there's a term to it.
Yes.
She wants that. So this is high value for a man. The traditional woman is high value for all men. The traditional man is high value for all women, no matter her type, because of his role, mindset, character, and what he brings to the table. His mindset, you said earlier, his character, principles, moral, his role, gender roles. He believes in that.
Yes.
And that's always going to put the woman at a safe space, comfort, because that's where the feminine's going to thrive, under comfort. So he's bringing that because he's getting in his role. What he brings to the table could be a handyman, all of these other things, analytical, self-reliant, dominant, a leader. Oh, she's like, I'm indecisive, honey, where you want to go eat? We're going here. Great. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he used proper discernment.
Yeah.
These are things that he's going to bring to the table. So he's valuable to a lot of women. The traditional woman is bringing submissive, peace, optimism. She's bringing order, maybe in the house. She's virtuous. Like, I don't have to be embarrassed thinking that she gonna be out there hoeing and showing her body to everybody. She's virtuous. She's a righteous woman. You know, so those things are actually not just for my embarrassment, for the family.
Yes.
Because I don't gotta explain that shit to the kids.
She's a representation.
She's a good role model.
Yeah.
So she's valuable to all men too. Even if some men, which is more modern, can't really like handle her. And I don't mean handle her in the sense of, you know, holding her accountable and whatnot, because the traditional woman holds herself accountable. But more so, she might be too much for him. Damn, you doing too much. Bring my plate all the time. It's like too peaceful here. It's too good to be true. Like, why don't you throw something, call me an idiot?
Oh, no.
You know, maybe post some stuff. You don't post no selfies or whatever like the other girls do. I'm throwing different scenarios with different types of guys. They're different mindsets of modern dudes. You know, the modern guy's not gonna value that, but still, what do they always say? All the dudes always want a good girl though. Good girl in the street, freak in the sheet. You see? The traditional woman is the good girl. We don't look at modern women and be like they're good girls. Do we or do we? Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
Yeah, so it's valuable on both ends. What do you think now?
Okay. Absolutely. Yes, now that you gave me a thorough explanation. Absolutely.
A man and woman are walking together in the street. It's a scenario.
Okay.
This man and woman are in a relationship. Let's say they're walking together, taking a stroll in the park or whatever, by the sidewalk. A man walks up to both of them. He's lost. He's asking for directions. He looks at the woman first and asks for directions. What should the woman who's with the man do for the man who's asking for directions?
Well, I could say what I would do if a guy came up to me and asked me for directions. I would look at my man, and I would be like, you know, hey, you know, do you know where, you know, so and so is? Like, can you? That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
And even if this is subjective, I agree with that. I think that's the right answer. Because now, even if that man, first of all, that man is disrespectful.
Yes.
Even if that man is disrespectful, the moment you defer to your man, he now got no choice but to
Right.
respect your man.
Exactly.
Because he's already approaching disrespectfully.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So now when you are putting it in a sense of, dude, I'm ignoring you. Like, you looking at your man, you want to help him out? I don't even see this dude. You want to help him out? Like, now he's like, oh, shit, okay. He has no choice.
Yes.
You know, so that's always the best, solution for that.
Agreed.
Was valuable back in the day still valuable today? And I could give examples.
So.
Okay.
I think so, yes.
So what do you think is valuable back in the day that's still valuable today?
Like a person's, like a person's morals. What else? Like their character. Things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to expound. So like the family structure, maybe the nuclear family, maybe the spiritual hierarchy
Yes.
of how we approach God over man, man over woman, woman over children. And this is not something that's true, that order, that hierarchy, that spiritual hierarchy. It's just, if we talking about spirituality, it is true.
Yes.
But if somebody's like somebody else, maybe who's more modern, right, could say that's not true. Men and women are equal. This and that, whatever. They're entitled to that, but it doesn't mean they're right.
Correct.
But if we're looking at it on a spiritual aspect, nobody can manipulate that and make it work in their favor. That's how it is. It's even in the Bible, whether it's the Holy Quran, Islamic faith, and Muslims, or whatever, King James Version, and Christianity. You know, it's the same thing. So that's one, the spiritual hierarchy, the family structure. Once again, like your values, morals, the courting process.
Yes.
Was valuable back in the day still valuable today? No. That's where I disagree with you on.
Okay.
No, it's not. Because I could look at it objectively, right? Everything, perception, you know what I'm saying? And then perspective. Because there's a lot of people that fight against that. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. The man is over the woman. A lot of people fight that. But people who follow the God and also believe in spirituality, believe that.
Yeah.
Believe that. Even before I broke it down, they believe it. But that's not valuable to some people. Was valuable back in the day. Maybe providing and protecting, nurturing and caregiving. Remember, I told you about the modern guy telling that woman, why you keep doing that? You doing too much. I don't believe it. He's unhealed, so he don't know how to receive that love. That's her loving, but he don't know how to receive it. He thinks she's still scheming. He's hurt. He don't think it's real. He don't know how to accept it. So does he value that? If the woman, I'm asking you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like so into what you're saying. Can you repeat that,
I
please?
do that. I do that. Does he value that? The fact that she loves to cater to her man, because that's part of her love language.
Yes.
He values that. He does it. Because remember, he's saying you're doing too much.
Oh, you're doing too. Yes, you did mention that. My apologies.
You know what I'm saying? So he's probably not used to being served.
Correct.
He's probably not used to women being submissive to him. His term of submission is misconstrued.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When we look at submission, when we look at dominance, it's a traditional thing. It's old school. It's like 1950s, 1930s.
Right.
People don't get that.
Right.
So if dominance and submission is valuable back in the days, is it still valuable today? No. That's the answer. Because most women will shame a guy for being dominant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
You watch the shows, right?
Yes, I do.
So the last show I was saying that about, do they shame the man for being weak or strong and masculine? I said weak, but it's like a even playing field depending on the people. So the man will be shamed more today for being dominant. It's actually misconstrued. It's misconstrued as abuse. Oh, you don't treat your women like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's misconstrued because they don't really know the definition.
Yes.
They're just following everybody else and following what that definition of it is. And they believe that's what it is. The way it's being represented, they believe that's how it is.
Right.
It's a trigger in both aspects, fear and arousal. Arousal for the woman, maybe fear for the modern guys because they got to step up.
Yes.
Also fear for certain women that had triggers. Maybe she saw dominant characteristics in an abuser. You see? But she's still aroused though. Why? Because she's getting in her nature. Her nature loves the masculine guy. Her nature loves dominance. I like a man to take charge. You know, don't tell me what to do. Sounds nice. Sounds nice.
Whoa.
You put me in my place. But don't tell me what to do. Sounds nice. Why? She's getting it back into her nature. But the world is making her like, oh, but don't tell me what to do. That's the world. That's feminism. Now she's fighting her nature because she's aroused by it. You see? So, like, those are certain examples. This is why I believe that what's valuable or what was back in the days is not valuable today because people changed.
People change.
So that's all I got. So I know that you have some questions or you wrote some stuff down.
But that's also because you just mentioned that it's not as valuable today as it was back in the day. And I agree with you. And that's also why I was thinking that like a modern man or woman wouldn't value a traditional man or woman as much today.
Yeah. Sometimes people are not aware of these words. That's why I have like this podcast, you know, Sue and I, we educate, because they're unaware. They just act. Sometimes they're just like acting like everybody else or the role models that they have today to look up to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even though she's fighting her nature of wanting the dominant or traditional man, society's telling her, no, boss bitch, independent, we don't need a man, da-da-da-da-da, and feminism, and whatever else they say, whether it's in music, whether it's in television shows, whether it's in movies nowadays, because things have changed, so everything here has to coincide with today.
Right.
We can't, like 90s, come on, man, like 90s R&B and hip-hop was a lot different than the music today.
Yes.
And it was different. It was a different energy too back in the days. People were eating different.
Yep.
Now, like the we don't have any superheroes now. Now they got female superheroes.
I was gonna mention something else about the new Wolverine and Spider-Man. They're like lovers in a way. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is Wolverine and Spider-Man. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like whatever's going on in the world, we gotta adjust to that. You know why? There's no right or wrong answer.
Because if you don't, you get canceled.
That's one. You got any more?
Unfortunately.
You got any more?
That's my main answer.
So I agree with that. The main thing is, cause it's like Wu-Tang. Cream, the acronym CREAM. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. That's what everything is predicated on. It is profitable. It's profitable. That's why we gotta do this. There might be sexism going on, but we blanket it. We blanket it. You know what I mean? With certain things. You know, so it's profitable. That's the main thing. That's why they're teaching these kids about non-binary in school. Yeah. Yeah, I do that. I trigger. I'm controversial. I don't care. This needs to be said. It's a message from God and the ancestors.
I know.
So the thing is, like, that's why, because it's profitable. And the reality is, it's ruining the next generation.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might have the modern try to get with the traditional. It doesn't last because eventually y'all gonna get on to shit. Even if the traditional woman does not know that there's a term of traditional woman, she gonna not feel right there. And she might just say, you might have interviewed them or whatever, man, you know, I never walk away from relationships, but this one guy, I had to walk away. And she's not probably a woman that likes to walk away, because no matter if it's ups and downs, she's still gonna put in work. Like, let's do something. Maybe it's a married couple. Let's go see counseling. Let's go do something. Like, she gonna work it out no matter what. But she was just like, this situation, I never did this before, but I finally walked away. Even if they're unaware of these terms, it's the energy, it's the feeling. You know what I mean? There are certain people you are with, and you're just like, man, it feels like I've known you for a long time, and you just been talking for maybe a week, or you just met each other for a week. You just known each other for a week, but you feel like your souls met prior, right? And this is only like spiritual people are aware of this, but y'all will be aware that maybe our souls met prior. But if you're not aware of spirituality, my accent, spirituality, you might just say that, like, it's so weird, like, feel like we've known each other. You see?
Yes, I do.
So it's the problem is, right, the food that we're ingesting, the music or television shows, whatever, even friends, certain family members we're around, all this toxicity is tainting us. It's blocking the portals, right? This is why certain people can't get the message. The message can't even be spoken through them.
Right.
Because they're not open to receive.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because the food's blocking it. The chakra, you know what I'm saying? The chakras, like the pineal gland, the third eye is closed.
Yes.
You see, so the only way we're going to be successful, I believe, in relationship, because remember, right? I'm going to break some shit down to you that's going to make you say, because that's what I do. And when I rub my palms like this, it's a wrap. Modern people, right? They're supposed to be smarter than the last generation and the generation prior, great-grandparents and stuff of that nature. Hell yeah, they are. You talk to them about some algorithms or technology, they know that shit quick. Damn, how'd you? Because I didn't have that in my era. They quick. Start a business, entrepreneur. They doing multiple things at a time. Know how to get on social media. And, you know all these reels and boomerang and goddamn, I got to get on to the times and shit. Yeah. I ain't have this shit in my time. But the moment you talk to them about relationship, they are, but word choice here, because this is not Patreon. They are challenged. I'll say that. Okay. They are relationship challenged. That's not even something they want to talk about. You want to talk about business? A woman actually told me that when I was trying to bring on the show. You want to talk about business, and just not relationship. I'm a little sensitive. What's going on with relationship? All of that ties in. You can't have business without relationship. That's people. It's psychology. It's all connected. So when you talk about relationship, they're challenged. Now the modern people are challenged because that's not their era. That's not their era. That's why they struggle. Whoa. Yeah, it's a fact. Because if you look at it, most modern people are being raised in one parental household. In one parental household with one parental figure. More likely, the mom.
I actually wrote that in my notes. Yeah, that's true though.
More likely the mom. Yeah. So they don't even see it being successful. They don't even see it prior to them leaving the house and going out to the date. That's why they're challenged with that. So yeah, the relationship aspect is a traditional old school thing. This is why modern people have a issue with it. The moment y'all have a disagreement or whatever it is, they quick.
They leaving.
Shit, I didn't know about ghosting until I started the podcast. What's ghosting? I had to like research.
Yeah.
What the fuck is ghosting?
That's the new wave.
That's the new wave. So that's the thing. You don't like him or whatever it is. Y'all dating for a couple of days. You don't even have the courtesy to just be like, it ain't gonna work. Waiter, let me get the check. Don't worry about the bill. I got it. It ain't gonna work because of this, that. And I know myself and whatever. But maybe you could take this lesson and find what you need. Nah, they quick to be fake. Like, oh yeah, it was great. The date went great. Meanwhile, it's like, yo, fuck this shit, man. And then they block.
Yeah, that's wild.
Ghosting.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, this is modern people.
Yeah.
The relationship market is for the traditional people. Because what is our purpose for dating? There's your answer, there's my answer, because it's subjective, and then there's the truth. So what do you think the purpose for dating is?
I think the purpose of dating is, just companionship and companionship, and also, building longevity.
Okay.
That's
So I believe the purpose for dating is building, like you said, procreating. Because connection's why we're here.
right.
Connection's why we are literally physically here. Because if men and women don't connect, we are not here. In evolution. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, dating, the purpose for it is to see if you are compatible for longevity, like you said, building family. Because we're not going to be on this earth too long. We're not here forever. So what is your legacy going to be? That's what I believe the purpose for dating is. Now, it's subjective still. I believe that's the truth. But it's subjective still because there are different types of people. So some people might just be, oh, well, my purpose for dating is getting free meals. That's my shit. That's why I date. Date a whole bunch of people for free meals. I got free meals 5 days a week. Or both men and women. Purpose for dating is to just sleep with people. Hook up. That's why the dating apps are around. Like, I don't believe in none of those dating app shit. Maybe 1% you could really find your soulmate. But most of those things are like hookup. I don't know a lot of these new dating apps. Last shit I knew was Plenty of Fish. And I think that was 2005 or something. Last time I was on there. But then now they got stuff like, from my research, Tinder, Bumble. Do you know any? Oh, Hinge.
The ones you just mentioned.
Hinge. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do dating because I'm traditional. I believe in the interaction, not through the screen. Too many people are comfortable through the screen.
The keyboard coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to me, the traditional man and woman is the success for strong, healthy children or strong and healthy next generation. That's what I believe. Like, it could be subjective, but that's what I believe. I believe that is the key to success. Now, do you think a traditional woman can transition a modern man?
I mean, I would say no, because then it goes back to what I've heard you mention before. You said that women are not leaders. Like, we're not, like, that's not our nature to be leaders in a relationship.
Yeah, you might be able to be a leader in your job
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff of that
different.
nature, but
Yeah.
it's not biologically ingrained in you to be one. That's why.
Right.
To be a leader, you got to think about other people. Most women are selfish. And I say most, not all. Most women are selfish. To be a leader, you got to think about other people. You got to be able to use proper discernment and logical skills when there's pressure situations that arise. And most women crumble under those situations.
Right.
You know, you got to be able to be decisive quickly. You got to be able to sacrifice and take the bullshit so they can survive or they could get it. So, for example, a man gets with a woman, they both have different places, but he's like, yo, move in with me or whatever it is, or vice versa. I'm going to come here and take on all the bills. So he's taking on her problems. He's taking on all her load. I don't want you to be stressed. I don't want it. The money that you make, just bill for us. I'll pay everything. So now you kind of living good. You could put like groceries or whatever it is, but you're not going down so much. You get to keep a lot of the stuff you're making for if we want to go on trips, if you want to invest in property, if you want to do this. You're fucking breaking the matrix because this was not the plan for them to do. That's why they tax both genders. They force women to work.
Wow.
So if the man is doing that, oh, well, you know, I'm coming and taking everything. He's taking, oh, I'm going to buy the car note and stuff. That's why now when he leaves you, she goes back to having those problems. Oh, calls. I'll call. I'll be like, listen, I'll call the lender. Change the address and put it in this person's name, and we good. She gets a thing in the mail, and it's a car note, and she's calling me, hey, I got a car note for it. Yeah, we not together anymore. What you think this is? I'm gonna pay that shit for the next 3 years or whatever.
Nah.
You got it now. You see? So in a way, it's like that's a leader. Because a leader is taking on the grunt so they could feel good and do the soft things. So it's still a team, but they're the leader. This is one of the things that women don't do well at. You could ask 100 women out there, and maybe 10 out of the 100. So now 90 women, I guarantee you ask them, how long would you take care of a man if he did not have a job, whatever, got laid off or whatever it is? How long would you take? Now, every woman is going to be subjective, but every single one of them, except for the 10, every single one of them will say 6 months, 2 months, till he gets back on his feet. Guess what a man would say if the woman lost her job? Guess what he would say?
I think he would say there wouldn't even be no time frame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
It's like, all right, listen, I
I got it. Forever.
Right. I was gonna say forever too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with marriage. So if the man is giving you the ring, even if he did connect with somebody else and cheated or whatnot, whatever we want to say, poly, he not coming in and he say, hey, that was the best sex of my life. Tell the kids I ain't ever coming home. What? That's not reality.
No.
That's like one like that point 0.0000009810. That's not reality.
Right. Most men, they go back. They usually go back to their
Yes,
wives
because
and
they
family.
think of forever, no matter what.
Yes.
Most women do not. They could wake up tomorrow and say, I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce. This is why a lot of modern guys are afraid of marriage. Well, I built all this, my resources, my assets. Not only would she be given half, but, you know, if we have kids, she's taking them. I'm more competent. Oh, so it's a game to tax child support. So now I'm actually losing by investing, and the woman's getting incentivized to leave. Traditional women and traditional men think of forever.
Yes.
The traditional woman is not saying tomorrow, like I said earlier, oh, I don't love you anymore, let's get a divorce. She gonna try to work it out. The modern woman will.
I only think she wouldn't be willing to work it out if certain circumstances, like maybe like a mental illness or something along those lines.
Herself or the husband
The husband.
has a mental illness.
Yeah, I think that that could be extremely challenging, and
And what would that entail? Like the mental illness, or what would it entail?
maybe like a schizophrenia,
Oh.
something severe like that.
And she's like afraid.
Yes,
Her nervous system is
there
up.
could be fear involved, and that, yeah,
I could see that. I mean,
because you can't really, as a spouse, you can't. That's a medical condition, and then especially if the spouse is not willing to take care of himself, then it's like your back's up against a wall. You have no choice but to want to escape.
yeah, I could see that. Because I was gonna say, and then you finished it. I was gonna say she's gonna find different outlets. You know what I'm saying? Like she gonna try to, find a solution.
Yes.
But like you're saying, if he's not willing, then I could kind of see it. But some women, I wouldn't say all of them, some women still stay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
They take their vows. Oh, my apologies.
Good.
No, I was just gonna say they take their vows to the grave.
Exactly.
So I
So
understand.
yeah.
Understand both sides.
But yeah, I think the discernment is based off the character. So I think like certain women move a certain way where you could, not a lot of men could tell, but I'm gonna speak subjective. I could tell if she's modern. I could tell if she's traditional. Certain men move a certain way where a woman could tell if he's traditional or modern. Now, they may not be able to put a term to it, but their subconscious knows. So understand that, and I'm going to help real quick, and then we'll do our final thoughts. The woman goes on a date with a man, and he says, I'm going with the flow. First of all, he's telling the truth. The woman might be ignoring that. She might be misconstruing that. Like, the irony is, oh, well, he's laid back. He's not as serious. He's goofy like me. We can have fun together. It always changes on the woman's part because she gets more emotional. You agree or disagree? Maybe
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Gets more emotional, like what it.
So maybe the sex gets better. So now she's like, I don't want to go with the flow now. What are we?
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe something else, like they're doing, maybe not even sex. It's not that good, but they're doing other things, trips or whatnot. She's getting to that age. She doesn't just entertain somebody for too long on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis without a title or something. So that is a modern man. That's like a sign for a modern man on going with the flow. Even though he's being honest, because he's being honest and he's remaining consistent, because even 3 months down the line, he's still going with the flow, even if he hasn't said it. The woman is like now changing what she wants. You see, because she's getting more emotional. She's getting more attached.
More invested.
Yes.
Okay.
So in a way, like the woman on the other hand now wants something traditional, because a modern woman would not care about titles. She would not care to be claimed or not.
You said a modern woman?
Yeah, she would not care. But now she's getting back into tradition.
Yes.
Yeah, and she don't even realize it.
Okay.
So in a way, like when you look at it on that perspective, based off how people are today, I believe, and once again, this is subjective, may not be the truth, I believe that it is due to unresolved trauma. It is due to not being healthy. This is why there is a modern man and woman. Because remember, like, the woman is with that dude and she now wants to build. But wait a minute. Maybe like the first couple of dates, I told you, going with the flow. You didn't have a problem with that. So now, why do you want this? You see? Yeah, so
That's true.
it comes down to like it comes down to like who's healed, who isn't healed. And I always believe the traditional men and women are healed. It's the modern men and women who are not healed. You know,
Okay.
from my perspective.
Okay. Because you're saying like traditional men and women, they're healed. You're saying they're healed because, like, yes, they hold themselves accountable and they're able to like work through.
Yeah, work through the hardship.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
And they know themselves.
Right. Okay.
So I'm gonna give you an example.
Self-aware. Sorry, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just self-aware and yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example with the scenario with the first date again. When the man says, or the male says, "I'm going with the flow," he doesn't know himself. You see what I did there?
Yes.
He doesn't know himself because he's like, "Oh, I'm going with the flow, day by day." He's unsure where he's gonna be at tomorrow. He's unsure where he's gonna be in 5 years. The traditional man is gonna be like, "Okay, so I got these goals.
Have a plan.
And this is where I'm gonna be in 5 years. And even if it's not 5 years, trust me, I'm gonna get there. Because it might not be a straight path. It might be this and a shortcut or whatever. However, the end goal will always be the end goal. I will get there." He's very dominant. He's very straightforward. He knows himself and he knows what he wants, especially for you too, because he's thinking about you. If I'm courting you, I have a goal for you too. This is the man that's traditional. He's healthy and he's self-aware. So he's also self-aware of ancestry. The woman, same thing. The modern woman following the guy that said going with the flow. Now, if a traditional woman is dating a modern guy, mind you, how do I know this? Divine assistance. They talking to me right now. The traditional woman hears that from the modern guy. She's going to say, maybe she might not be disrespectful and blunt and aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that just don't work for me.
Right.
She gonna articulate. She's not gonna keep quiet and just be like, "Oh, let me just follow," like an idiot. Let me just follow. No, she's gonna say, "That doesn't work for me." That's not a clear consensus of anything. You know, she's gonna have the right questions for the guy.
Yes.
Well, do you have a purpose for dating? Do you want kids yet? Do you have kids? You ever been married? Blah blah blah. You're not married. Are you with your baby mama? If not, but do you still fuck with each other? Like, she's gonna like ask questions. She's not just gonna go, and it's not dominant. It's not dominant. It's just that she wants to secure her future because she knows she's gonna submit,
Yes.
and it's dangerous submitting for uncertainty.
Yeah.
So she's like meets the guy, and she gonna be able to put a pin on him, even if she don't realize there's a term for it, what he is, based off his actions, his character.
That's true.
She's thinking like the traditional man, but opposite. She's thinking about securing her future, maybe hypergamy, and he's thinking about building a legacy. So they kind of got the same type of goal, even if it's different for men and the women. The modern woman and the modern man don't.
They're just going with the flow.
It's just going with the flow. It's uncertain there. Let's just, because this is like, I kind of came from something rough. Let's just take it what it is or whatever. Like, we living by the moment, YOLO and stuff, right? But it's not realistic. It's not realistic. It's just like somebody saying, let's be friends with benefits. It's not realistic because somebody's gonna catch feelings.
That's true.
It's not realistic that it is able to be sustainable for the two. Somebody gonna catch feelings. Shit, I didn't know the sex was gonna be that great. I thought it could just dominate him like I do the other guys. Pause. Shit, now I'm falling. Or I didn't think he was gonna be such a gentleman and care about my needs and do all this stuff and be able to, and care about my safety. Most guys don't. I'm falling for that. Wow. This shit different. I didn't think that. I thought I could play here. I thought I could play with him. And just have fun.
Because they were friends, so it's like, and then now, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not realistic, and always the beginning stage, right? Like that first date is always that mask.
Yeah.
For both. There's always that mask. Maybe even the modern man is being straight up by saying I'm going with the flow, but it's not always likely that the woman is being straightforward and honest. But the traditional woman is gonna irritate her to go with the flow, to even be in agreement to that. Like, oh, so you have any goals? 5 year? No, I'm just going with the flow, living day by day, trying to stay above water, 6 feet above the ground.
Oh,
And the woman's just gonna, really? She, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this is like internal thoughts. It's not like them speaking out loud. It's just like she's gonna be like, nah, that's scary. That's crazy.
She gonna do what I did and laugh, just like I just laughed.
Especially if she feels like, no, I'm looking for a leader. Now, the woman who's the leader, which is most likely the modern, she might fuck with that because she'll just be like, 50-50, equal. Oh, I could do this. I could take care of everything. I'm a leader too, mainly in my job. So maybe I could bring this too into the relationship. You see, it's mad hard.
Yeah.
But the success is the tradition. And modern have a problem with the relationship because they weren't really accustomed to that era. They ain't even seen relationship in their household. Most of them. I'm telling you right now, if a woman has a man and a woman in the house, mom and dad, she not a modern chick. And they've been together for a minute, she's not. Even if they don't understand what I'm saying, she's not a modern chick. Because she already saw the family structure.
Right.
She see it, even if she's against it. Even if she's against it, runs away from it. The only way that is the only way that woman transitions is if she left the house early and she starts to meet these female feminist friends that are different from her. All this stuff out here she's engulfing. Yeah, then she does. Because she's kind of like modern and traditional. She's battling it. She's battling both. She's trying to be traditional, but she's leaning towards modern. And she's trying to do modern things, but tradition is fighting that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she'll still do modern shit, but it's like, I don't just sleep with anybody. If I'm sleeping with you, we're in a relationship. There's a title here. But the modern chick could do that easy. See how she's still modern, but fighting tradition? Because she says she don't do that without a title. That's traditional. But she's doing modern things. It's crazy.
Yeah, yes it is.
So, and that's a situation because her parents were together. That's what makes her be like fighting it because she left the nest early. You know what I'm saying? Got independent real early, became a CEO at a very young age, meets these feminist female friends, male feminist friends. You know what I'm saying? She got male friends influencing her and whatnot. That's the only way. But most likely, the woman does not transition from seeing it in the domestic environment prior, because that's where the education begins first.
Yes.
So if she never saw what a man looked like, and how he was protecting, providing, and stuff of that nature for her and the mom, she not gonna believe that they exist.
Exactly, because she didn't see it.
And if the son saw just a single mom, and most likely she's a feminist, he's not gonna believe there are submissive women out there. Or traditional. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to be like, well, you know, my mom was single, so I'm not going to think that men and women really come together long term. It's just for a short time, good time, moment. Yeah. So, any final thoughts?
Well, I learned a lot today, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm learning that, learning more and more about like you said, like the terminology and everything. Traditional men, provide and protect. Traditional women are, they submit. And I learned about how can I say?
And
Go ahead. No, you go
the
ahead.
thing
You go
is,
ahead.
you are a pretty successful woman
Thank you.
in economy, but book smart don't really define like common sense. I'm not saying you don't have it. Book smart don't really translate into understanding male and female nature.
That's true.
I'm not saying you don't have it, but I'm just giving an example. Book smart don't correlate into intelligence because you don't really know about life or whatever it is. I'm not saying that I'm just speaking in general. So for you to come here and say you learn all this stuff, it's like a lot of it is subconscious, right? You probably saw with your parents or whatnot. You didn't know there were terms to it. Maybe you dated a couple of guys who weren't onto this. He didn't tell you what your dad did, what your grandfather did. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, it's like it's kind of hard to get that education. Now you're seeing it.
Right.
Whether it's podcasts, whether it's this podcast, you're now seeing it.
Right.
Day one, I've been talking about masculine and feminine energy. You can't talk about masculine and feminine energy and not believe in spirituality. So people out there that don't believe in zodiac signs, they're faking because you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. If you believe in energy, then that's part of it. We ain't just come from monkeys.
Right.
That can't be your way of human beings.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? There were people here prior to us. What about the ancient Egyptians? Was that really a myth? Greek mythology, was that really a myth? Maybe it's history. There were people here prior to us. God, Jesus was black. There are people here prior to us for you to not believe in these things. Because if you don't believe in spirituality and zodiac signs, you and I would both have the same zodiac sign. Everybody would. Everybody would have the same zodiac signs. There wouldn't be certain times, dates, whatever that you're born in, specifically because you got a specific purpose that's already written prior to you being born.
That's so true. So true.
You see, so in that regard, you know, we got to get back into our DNA. That's success. People don't want to hear it. Oh, yeah, he's saying what my dad did, what my grandfather did. That's not a red flag. That's actually a green flag. But if you are not healthy, you're not going to be able to decipher.
That's wisdom.
You know, so even a successful woman like you might not be aware of this because you weren't kind of like privy to that info. You couldn't get it anywhere. Now there's things out there that, you know, you could get it from. It's like, you don't have to agree with it, but if it makes sense, oh shit, that makes sense. And you feel the type of way, you get a different chill. It's a different feeling in the air when these words are spoken, probably.
Yes.
Certain signs are indicators of maybe it is true. What was your experience today?
Oh, this experience was very liberating. Yeah,
Okay.
I enjoyed my time here. Thank you again for inviting me back.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate
All
it.
right. So, let's see. What was the topic again?
As time changes, how valuable is a traditional man
Is a
and woman today?
Yeah. So it's extremely valuable. Even if you don't want to agree, because it's boring and it's not the style today. It's not the algorithms today. It's not the energy today. It's just not the way we vibe today. It is valuable because no matter what, we are going to want to get back into tradition or our partners to be. So the modern guy, if he wants to stay modern, don't complain about your girl posting her ass online. You can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose because only a traditional man would have a problem with that. And you're modern, so just let her be free. That's sexual liberation. You're modern, so you shouldn't have a problem with that. Why? Because he's still diving into his nature. It's tradition for the man to be possessive and territorial of his lady. It's tradition. But he don't know himself. He just reacting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if the woman wants to be modern, she wants to fight submission. She don't want to be quiet, bring peace, listen to the man that she's sexually submitting to, which is one of the most profound forms of submission. Then she shouldn't complain that he don't want to provide. He don't want to protect. Because he sees some hoe in you. He maybe don't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? And it's embarrassing for him to want to provide for you. You see, so you can't pick and choose when you want to be down in a life. You know what I'm saying? If you told the man you were going to be obedient from the beginning, be a woman of your word and do that consistently, even when you don't agree. If you told the woman you were going to provide and protect, no matter what, be a man of your word, even if you don't agree or you're mad or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because it hurts you to not be a person of your word. Got nothing to do with them. I won't be able to sleep at night. That's how people should feel. But the thing is, these values, this integrity, these principles are not common today. That's why I say it's valuable. Because these things are coming with the traditional man and woman. Mm-hmm. They may have different principles, but they got them. It's like today, nobody does. So that's what it comes down to. And that's going to be success. So many people are kind of like faking something. And that's like, don't cry over spilled milk. You asked for that. Girl, don't cry with spilled milk. You fuck with the nigga that said he's going with the flow. He ain't lied. 3 months down the line, you want something now. He ain't lied. Now the dude knows he was getting with the hoe. Booty Cheeks was online. And you still took her in. And now she doing some hoe shit. She flirting with dudes in front of you. You went to the bathroom or whatever, dancing on a guy. And now you feeling a type of way. No, accept that whole shit too. Yeah, accept that whole shit too. Because you met her like that. That's why I'm saying, like, people are kind of faking, trying to manipulate. And then the reality is they want to get back into tradition. But they just don't want to go against the grain. That's the problem. We don't have a lot of leaders. The traditional woman is divine feminine, which is equate to queen. The traditional man is divine masculine, which is equate to king, god, and goddess. We are gods and goddesses with amnesia. We got to remember ourselves. If we remember ourselves, we remember our power. And then we find God. That's paramount. God is in the image of us. Mm-hmm. This is where it is. This is the cornerstone. So it's about finding ourselves. Yes. That's what it comes down to. So if men and women want to coexist together successfully, they got to get back into tradition. I've never seen a modern couple be sustainable. Never. Because even if you think it's going on now, yo, there's an expiration date on that. I guarantee you. They'll be divorced in 2 years. Shit, a fact. Maybe, yo, they surprised me. They fucking lasted 5 years, but it still happened. It still happened. We don't get the relationships like our grandparents and parents and stuff anymore. Even if they didn't know of divorce back then and stuff of that nature, no, they knew that it was like a carnal sin, probably, even if they're not religious, to not be with my husband or my wife. Imagine different cultures, right? Asian, whatnot, or Muslim. The woman comes back without her husband. She's shamed. She's shamed. What did you do? They ain't looking at what he did. What you do? She's shamed. It's like metaphorically, she's thrown. She has rocks thrown at her. She's shamed. They hold her accountable. That shame and accountability made the woman keep herself in check. It's like today we don't have that. No shame and accountability, only pertaining to like men. But women need to be held accountable too. Yes. That's what's gonna keep it both like tradition and men, because men can't just be traditional and then meeting these modern. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna connect. Right. In order to connect, it gotta be traditional too. So how are women gonna get back into tradition? Not just the role models, they gotta be shamed and held accountable. as a society, we can't be in the comments like, oh yeah, girl, see-through dress. Yeah, do you. But in your thoughts, damn, whole shit. But yeah, do you. We can't encourage this. We can't encourage this. That's fine for privacy. Like, I don't mind the slut. She mine though. My slut. She doing that shit, twerking or whatever it is in private. Nobody could ever see that. They just go in the street. They see her as pristine and whatnot. They would never think. That about her. That's a high value woman. Because not just a lot of men can't visually get access to her, but physically. Same thing with the men. We self-proclaiming ourselves just like the last show, king and queen. But there's weight to that name. There's weight to that name. And that weight comes with responsibility. Holding yourself accountable, not just responsibilities of others and households and whatnot, and people and kids and society, nation. Yourself. You have a duty to yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. You hold yourself accountable. Carry yourself. You build character. That's the responsibility. That's you holding the prestigious name. It's like disrespectful when I see women, oh, I'm a queen, and I see your booty online. Hey, real estate agent, I'm confused. Are you selling pussy or houses? Or both? I'm confused, but you're a queen though? Nah. Yeah, you could be self-proclaimed, but it's not true. You even disrespect the people before you by claiming that. When you call yourself a goddess or a god, you disrespect those before you. And people like that don't ever get what they want because they're not authentic for real. They don't really respect themselves. The way they carry themselves, what they do in public, they don't respect themselves for real. They won't understand that until they heal. That kind of rhymed. I'm on one. I'm gonna cut it because if I keep going, I'll probably be here for 2-3 hours or whatever it is. But I appreciate you coming on, sharing your perspective. We got to get back into our DNA. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's absorbing the right stuff. You know, it's absorbing the right stuff, finding God again. You know, and that doesn't entail going to church every Sunday. I've seen some fucking whole church girls in my day when I was mad young. Shit traumatized me to me like, oh damn, this is where I thought I was gonna find my wife. You see what I'm saying? So they're not even the way they are. Hypocrites. So I'm not saying church, because church does not stamp goodness. It does not stamp, oh yeah, I got a relationship with God. No, because you could have church at your home with yourself. You wake up every day and you pray. You write in your journal or whatnot. You talk to your ancestors. You know, maybe you're a woman and you do yoga. You call upon these entities when you do certain yoga poses. Facts. It's a fact. It's a fact. This type of information, you can't get it everywhere. But they speak through me. You know, as a whole, the way we're gonna reconstruct society is by finding ourselves and healing. So many unhealed people jumping into relationship, never healing, boom, boom, boom. You got a girl out there that's been in 5 different relationships in the past 2 years. I know it. Maybe 3 years. I know there's some of them out there, maybe in a city near you. Same thing with a man. You gotta take time to heal. And part of healing that is assessing the situation that happened. What did you do? What did she do? What am I gonna learn from this? That's part of the healing process. Am I gonna heal? Am I bringing the same type of characteristics in the new relationship? You know, that's the biggest thing. Relationships today, like modern relationships, are what's fucking us up. And it's building that cycle. So when you just carrying that, you're going to see that the moment you get into a traditional one and you meet a traditional person, man or woman, things are going to change. But you got to have patience with it. Because if a woman or a man is not healed and they start seeing it in the beginning, it's going to feel so weird to them. They might run away because they're scared. So you gotta like give it some time, because what you gotta do is you gotta unlearn to relearn. Even a new lifestyle, you gotta unlearn to relearn. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get out of the matrix. You're stuck in the matrix. You gotta unlearn to relearn. You know, that's what it takes. You know, healing is the number one thing. That's where it starts with. Then it's knowing yourself.
Yes.
Once you know yourself, you're gonna build these boundaries. That's part of self-love. That's discipline. So, you know, tradition is the way. It is the way. I will say that shit forever. You know, and I say that the women probably gonna attack me, but the number one reason why relationships end is because the woman doesn't stay in her place. What do I mean by that? Yeah, that's a trigger. It's gonna sting a lot of women, especially if they're not healed. The healed traditional women will agree with me. The unhealed won't. They don't stay in their place. What does that mean? They're not submissive. And in its basic layman's terms, you are going to see 99% of the time a relationship's going well. Who's the one that's going to start complaining first? Most likely the woman, whether it's the man or the traditional, modern, whatever kind of gay, thinks he's not going both ways, but he's really gay, because you can't be bisexual. That doesn't exist. There's no such thing as bisexual man. It don't matter what type of man he is. The woman, why don't we take trips? Why don't we go on this? Why don't we go that? Only the traditional woman is gonna stay in her place, because she's already embodying femininity and submission. She knows that's part of her power. So most likely the modern woman, some shit she gonna start. And then the moment she starts getting out of her place, that's when shit start getting fucked up. The man is like, oh man, every time I come home it's headache. I'm a cheat. Every time I come home is this. I'm to blame. Guilt tripping, manipulation. It's time to go. That's always what happens. And you always see the women that are in successful relationships know their place. They stay in it. This is a fact. They stay in it. They don't leave. They don't walk away. They work things out. It's the women that are getting more dominant now. Oh, let me get out of here. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me complain. You know, so the traditional woman's going to bring certain aspects that's going to be conducive to the healthy relationship. Not the modern man or woman. The modern man or woman, they're bringing toxicity. And some people like toxic love. That's like actually a thing. Toxic relationships. Some people do. But down the line is shit dangerous. Shit could be like domestic violence and all that. Kids could be involved. It should get dangerous down the line. You invested mad years. The toxicity starts to grow. Now, in the beginning, it was like this. Now the shit getting physical. Now the shit doing this. Now we disrespecting each other in front of the kids. You see, it's not healthy. It's not good. Healthy is the way. This is where we're both gonna be happy. The man and the woman will be fulfilled. Tradition. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you were tuned into one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, real, no holds barred, passionate, and intense. Once again, prayers go out to Suhei and her family. Hope everything is good. Hope to get her back soon. Once again, thank you for coming on. This Therapy Podcast. Peace.